A while ago, I presented the tough small group base with double-stacked shotgun-trapped unlootable loot rooms, which seems to have worked really well for you. Today, I present its bigger brother. It features a starter unit, the tried and tested loot room design, a turret protected variation, which leads to a 31 rocket protected TC, an open core for your group, a shooting floor, roof defenses, and a watchtower, as well as 4 external TCs to prevent easy griefing. The base does not come cheap. The cost is 29k frags and 39k stone for the largest version. The daily upkeep is 11k frags, 8k stone and 40 HQM. However, its unique design features will turn every raid into an 80+ rocket nightmare. The airlock uses the cell gate double door combination, which provides excellent visibility and allows to fight door campers. A shotgun trap behind these twig stairs makes sure that raiders cannot go deep without bringing ladders. On the second floor we find drop chests. Through this garage door we enter the main living space. As per your feedback, you'll find garage doors throughout the living space to make raiding this space an even more frustrating experience. There are 4 chutes leading to the secure loot rooms, which this time only use shotgun traps. Your comments on the last build confirmed that these loot rooms are very frustrating to raid. This chute leads towards the main loot room with a TC, with turrets that cannot be damaged by splash damage of rockets shot down the chute. And this half-height floor prevents looting the TC without destroying it, which in combination provides maximum protection to the TC. It's much easier to close off the TC now, something that a few people had trouble with in the past. This loot room initially also serves as starter unit. Through this ladder hatch, we enter the shooting floor, which comes with a variety of shooting ports. This port is designed to prevent headshots. The shop front window allows to safely check where the enemy is. These slits and windows allow to shoot enemies who are far away or on raid towers. The slit in the floor allows to shoot raiders who are hugging the wall of the base. Same goes for this door, which in addition allows you to jump out if needed. The center of the shooting floor houses a bedroom with lockers to allow to quickly spawn, gear up and get back in the fight. This ladder hatch leads onto the roof. Since the roof can easily be compromised in a raid, it exits in an airlock with excellent all-round visibility and well-placed shotgun traps prevent raiders from easily going deep when you open the door. The roofs provide a fantastic mix of cover and visibility. Up the ladder, we reach the lookout tower, a design feature which has rarely been used in the past. My observation is that during a raid, situation awareness is key but hard to maintain. Thus, during a raid, you can have one member of your group spawn up here and keep an overview of the situation. We use a foundation layout around a central square. Add 2 triangles on the sides and fill it up with square foundations. This design creates 4 perfectly separated squares, which we will use as loot rooms. On 2 sides, add 2 squares onto the outer triangle, 1 square on the other 2 outer triangles. The outer squares will become the entrances. Keep that in mind when deciding on which side to place them. Finally, fill the gaps with triangles. Stone up the following foundations to build the starter unit. The TC goes into the rear triangle. The square in front of the TC will serve as loot room. Use the rest of the space for a workbench and furnaces. Close off the entrance and add more furnaces. Don't forget to add the sleeping bags of the most active members. Jump on top of the furnace in the corner and create this airlock. In case your team has secured an early auto turret, add it here. It will help to counter door campers. If you have trouble jumping out of this entrance, remember to crouch while jumping. Eventually, upgrade everything to sheet metal. This concludes the first phase of the build. Now we build the core of the base. Place door frames and doors next to the extended squares. Then, place twig walls on the sides of the inner squares as shown. Everything else will be filled up with sheet metal walls. I'm gonna speed through this and show you the result from above. Next, we place the ceiling. Note that I left the floor tiles above the inner squares twig, and I did not fill up the triangles next to the twig walls. Neither the squares in front of the entrances. Surround the second floor with stone walls. For the next step, we're going to need a tier 2 workbench. Place it onto one of the outer squares. We're now going to build the secure loot rooms. Break the twig, place a ladder in a triangle, and jump down to place the first 2 boxes. Now build this temporary twig construction. It is necessary to place the outer shotgun traps. Try to place them as close to the box as possible and pointing upwards a little bit. They should not touch the line that you see on the sheet metal wall. Place the floor and the low wall. Verify that you can access all traps and boxes before upgrading the low wall. Repeat the same process for the upper compartment. Please note, in case that not all clan members are online while you're building this, wait with placing the low walls until they have the chance to come online and authorize themselves. Again, make sure you can reach all traps and boxes before upgrading the low wall. The floor tile will be armored, so that raiders are forced to go down the chute. The chute itself will be upgraded to sheet metal. Further, place a half-height triangle. Not only makes it rocketing down the chute more difficult, it also allows to place a turret on top of it, which can hold raiders down for quite some time. It is not necessary to use the same design for all loot rooms. Here, for example, I'm demonstrating the use of a window instead. Make sure that the upper shotgun trap is attached to the ceiling. I recommend the use of window shutters in addition to bulletproof glass, so that raiders cannot see what is expecting them once they blow up the window. Eventually, you should end up with 4 garage doors secured chutes, 1 in each corner of the base. Complete this step by adding a ceiling with 2 ladder hatches. If you do not yet have the blueprint, use wooden floor tiles and hatchet them out later. In this phase, we complete the core of the base. We start with the entrances. Use this temporary twig construction to place the drop chests. Close this part off to secure the core of the base. Add stairs, but do not upgrade them to force raiders to use ladders. That works very well with the turrets. Add wall frames. Fill 2 of them with shop fronts and add a cell gate door to the right hand side. If possible, use a floor grill for the ceiling. You can use a wooden ceiling and another double door in case you're missing any of the blueprints. To avoid door campers sitting on top of the airlock, place barricades there. Don't forget to place the shotgun trap underneath the twig stairs. Repeat all those steps on the other side of the base. Jump into the core and add items alongside the outer walls, such as shown here. Now we're going to increase the security of the central loot room with a TC. Remove all the starter items. I didn't replace the sleeping bags, but you should place them somewhere in the outer part of the second floor. Upgrade the walls around the TC to armor. Place a window frame and seal the TC with horizontal embrasures and bulletproof glass. We're leaving only a single box down here to have space for an auto turret. Placed here, there's virtually no way raiders can drain it or hit it with rockets. The only way I found to destroy it is repeated suicide runs with C4 and satchels. To double the security, add a half-height triangle here and place another turret on top of it. Add more boxes. Fill the door frames with garage doors and add shotgun traps to the ceiling. Having to deal with 3 sets of undrainable turrets should leave raiders absolutely frustrated. Now we have to make sure that raiders do not just blow through the ceiling into the core. Thus, we upgrade the floors around the center to armor. And we add walls and 2 layers of ceilings on top of the former starter unit. This means blowing in from the top costs already at least 31 rockets. Next, we increase the security of the core by adding garage doors. As a rule of thumb, add a door frame wherever you find an armored floor tile. Raiders will need to spend way more explosives to get from one loot room to the other this way. The ladder hatches are still a weak point, so we add shotgun traps to greet any raider jumping down. By placing them on 3 different sides, it becomes very costly to destroy them with splash damage. Make sure you place them on both ladder hatches. In the next phase of this build, we build the roof and the battlements. We start off by building the 3rd floor bedroom. The shopfront windows allow to check whether the 3rd floor has been breached before running out. Place walls all around the triangles, leaving the squares on the other side. A ladder hatch goes dead center. Next, we place beds. You will have to upgrade one of the walls to sheet metal, otherwise there won't be enough space. It can take some time before you find the right angle, so don't give up too early. We're gonna use lockers. Lockers are such an underrated item. It can make all the difference whether you can gear up in a second, rather than having to search through different boxes for gear, meds, guns and ammo. Use the 4 beds for your most active members, or the best PvPers, and then place down sleeping bags for the rest of the team. I managed to fit 6 bags. Next, we'll protect the ladder hatches and the double door by adding garage doors to the 2 open sides of the inner squares. Now, we create an airlock on top of the central ladder hatch. It will have 2 exits, giving you a total of 4 ways out of the 3rd floor bedroom. This makes it very hard for raiders to effectively suppress you and lock you in during an online raid. The shop fronts allow to check whether the roof has been compromised before exiting through the doors. Since the doors will not block the entrance when opened, we use shotgun traps to prevent raiders from going deep. At this stage, the base has cost already a lot, and maybe you think that because online raids are so rare, you don't actually need a full-fledged shooting floor. So here's an idea of how to add a cheap roof defense. Per side, we basically use 2 wooden triangles to shoot downwards, and 2 wooden roofs for more long-range engagements. Add low walls to the triangles for cover from the distance. However, if you have the desire and the means to build a shooting floor, I have a very nice arrangement for you. Find a spot where there is a square surrounded by 2 triangles. Place 2 squares going out, then place door frames and window frames as shown. On the final bit of this sector, we place a shooting port made out of a low wall, half wall combination. These shooting ports are excellent to engage enemies closer to the base while protecting your head. Place a concrete barricade as close as possible to this door frame. The reason we place it there is because the door that will go into this door frame will be open. This door will remain open as well, blocking the gap from the view from afar. For the windows, use whatever you prefer. I used wooden shutters to limit the enemy's visibility of the defender's movement. The shop front here allows to gauge the situation and spot enemies without exposing yourself to fire. These garage doors serve as bulkheads if the outer compartments get destroyed. To further protect the defenders from long-range sniper fire, add wooden signs to these 2 doors. Please note, these signs may collapse when you continue building and may need to be replaced. This completes 1 defense sector. Now copy it 3 more times, exactly as you've seen here, to complete the shooting floor. We will add 3 roofs and 1 low wall for each of the sectors. Add water barrels behind the low walls. They provide good cover and you can crouch into them to be practically invisible during long-range engagements. Take a ladder and hop onto the 4th floor airlock. If you have more spare turrets, place them on these triangles to help defending the roof. Then start working on the lookout tower. You'll need a box to reach the ladder hatch. Take note of the orientation of the shop fronts. They need to be placed exactly this way to leave space for the sleeping bags. Technically, the base is now complete, but I'd recommend a final build step. Place 2 squares going out from one of the entrances. Destroy the inner one and continue building 5 more for a total distance of 7 squares. Now build this half circle of triangles. They're going to house an external TC. The rationale behind this is that the biggest risk for any base is to have the TC taken over by raiders. Not only does this allow them to grief you, but it also turns all the traps against you. If the main TC gets destroyed, the external TCs will take over and prevent raiders from placing their own. We're gonna build a total of 4 of these, which means raiders have to spend 60 more rockets to grief the base, which seems unreasonable unless you really piss them off. Since they do not count towards the building blocks of the main base, their upkeep is negligible. In case the main TC gets destroyed, you'll need to disconnect the external TCs from the foundations. Pickaxe them, take the stone out and wait for them to decay, or do both. Once that foundation is destroyed, you can replace the main TC. And that's it, guys. I wish you a lot of successful wipes with this design, and as always, let me know in the comments what you think. So long, Evil Wurst out.